TikTok user Horror Fairy is a dedicated collector of everything horrifying. Within his home lies a special room, filled with dread and shadowed by the eerie presence of countless movie villains. Among them, an unsettling number of dolls from the Chucky franchise form the heart of his obsession. But it was one doll in particular, smaller, with eyes that seemed to follow you in the dark, that stirred up strange occurrences. Some mornings, it would be sprawled on the floor or posed unnervingly in a new position. Disturbed by these impossible shifts, the man began filming through the night. This footage reveals what he captured. An unseen presence clearly holds sway over the doll. Disturbingly, it's the only object in the entire room that stirs. Is this place haunted? Whether it's truth or illusion, that's for you to decide. A man named Dustin works at an old hotel deep in the Appalachian Mountains. For the past year, he's been capturing unsettling events on his TikTok, each stranger than the last. It's never quiet during those hours, not truly, and he's come to expect the unexpected. Still, he never imagined what he would see that night. Supposedly, he was the only soul inside that silent building. At least, that's what he kept telling himself. Then he noticed her, a woman draped in black, lurking in the dim back hallway. Every nerve in his body went cold as he reached for his phone to record, his heart pounding harder with each breath.
Okay, I'm freaking out a little bit. So, I was in the back hallway, and I was just walking through, and there was somebody back there. Like, she was just standing there, but it was like back there.
Dustin moved through the building, trying to keep his nerves steady as he described everything he'd witnessed. Yet as he passed through a doorway, a sinister shape emerged behind him, cloaked entirely in black with long, tangled hair draped over its face. Though he brushed right by it, Dustin showed no sign of seeing it at all. He continued toward the back, only to discover that when he turned a corner, the same dreadful figure stood just behind him again. This time, it turned its bloodless face in his direction, stretching its mouth into a hideous grin while its hollow eyes seemed to bore right through him. Still, Dustin remained utterly unaware of this ghastly presence. The sight of that twisted face gave me chills. Easily, the most horrifying thing I've laid eyes on in a long time. After watching this footage, Dustin had better ask for a raise, because what on earth is lurking behind him? Before we dive deeper into this scary video, I want to remind you about something special. If you love horror stories, scary stories, haunted locations, and terrifying true horror stories, then make sure to subscribe to Unsolved Mysteries, link in the description. Every week we bring you untold true horror stories that will leave you questioning reality and wondering what might be lurking in the darkness. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a single story that sends shivers down your spine. A CCTV footage from a restaurant in Malta captured something bone-chilling. Take a look. This is, without question, one of the most unnerving pieces of potential ghost footage I have ever seen. Its true power lies not in a mere camera glitch, but in one deeply unsettling detail. Many of you might assume from the start that this is just a person, made blurry by faulty equipment. I won't deny that this could explain its hazy appearance. But how then do we account for the chair that slides across the floor before the figure ever touches it? Watch closely. The chair moves as the mysterious presence approaches, almost as if some unseen force clears the way for it to sit. And then, as this strange visitor settles at the table, it begins to fade, gradually becoming fainter and fainter until it dissolves completely into the air. What are we really witnessing here? Is this truly a ghost caught on CCTV, or is there a more ordinary explanation lurking behind this deeply disquieting scene? Tim Morozov, a well-known YouTuber for daring midnight journeys into places where the walls themselves seem to whisper. He prowls through old hospitals and crumbling houses, his veins curiously barren of fear. In this particular video, which you are about to glimpse, his courage takes center stage as he ventures into the silent darkness. It was 1 a.m. when Tim entered an abandoned house, one no one had ever called haunted, just poorly built and left to rot. Yet, as the night stretched on and shadows crawled along the floors, he aimed to prove that something far more sinister lurked behind those hollow halls.
Что там за шум? Там, по-моему, только одна вешалка была. Что сейчас за порыв энергии был такой?
When Tim stepped into that particular room, he immediately felt a biting cold coursing through his veins, as if something unholy had latched onto his soul. It was among the most overwhelming waves of supernatural presence he had ever experienced, making his fingers shake so violently that he wondered if he could go on. Still, he pressed forward, desperate to please his audience, and approached the closet. Without warning, something like a twisted carpet exploded forth, soaring in frantic loops through the halls of the old house. Tim, heart hammering in his chest, chased after it, mind reeling with questions he could not begin to answer. At last, it fell still, and he realized it was nothing more than a simple rug. Yet, how? How had it flown? What force made it defy reason? Those questions remained unanswered, and the silence of the house offered no clues. It was a mystery sealed behind the walls and floors, fated to linger in the dark corners of Tim's memory, haunting him long after he turned out the lights. Alex's time at Penshurst Asylum will continue to haunt his memory for a very long time.
Dude, there's just something about this, like, I do not like being alone in here. Where are you right now? Can you give me a sign that you're in here? Dude, I just heard a scream. What the dude? Hey, Chelsea?
Hello?
What the dude? Yo! Dude, what the is happening? I'm out of here. Dude, Chelsea, someone is
Screaming in my building right now. Dude, get over here. I'm scared. Dude, I just heard a woman screaming in my building. Dude, I'm scared.
Yo, holy shit.
In the prison, where Alex is not alone but joined by Dakota, Tanner, Connor, and Chelsea, a sudden menacing scream echoes through the cold, dim corridors, followed by another, and another. That forces Alex to leave the building. Under a cloak of darkness, an Arab ghost hunter received a desperate call to investigate a residence plagued by unexplained hauntings for 15 long years. Every family that lived there reported chilling paranormal activities, yet no one had dared to hire a hunter to uncover the truth. Until now. As the clock struck 1 a.m., he arrived at the eerie house, its windows like empty eyes watching his every move. He stepped inside, the heavy door groaning shut behind him. Unbeknownst to him, this night would plunge him into one of the most terrifying experiences of his career.
هذا المكان اللي أبي أروحه يا جماعة. بسم الله. بسم الله. يا جماعة لا يكون هذا جنة بنويرة. وهذا واحد. شوفوا يا جماعة. يما أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات. يا جماعة ماني عارف أدخل المكان. شوفوا هذا يطالع يا جماعة، أقسم بالله كأنه يطالع. لازم أدخل وأشوف إيش السالفة.
While checking the place before stepping inside, Hamza noticed something horrifying on the building's second floor. A pale figure poked its head around a window, glaring down at him with a strange, cold stare. The moment he met its eyes, it slipped back behind the blinds, vanishing as if it had never been there. Most people would have turned around right then and there, deciding it was enough for one day. But Hamza, who made a living chasing restless spirits, wasn't bothered by such a weak display. He pushed open the door and entered. What happened once he was inside was more shocking than anything he had ever imagined.
أبوك، بسم الله. الصوت من وين؟ يا جماعة اختفى الصوت، اختفى الصوت. أعوذ بكلمات لا تمات من شر ما خلق. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. شوف يا جماعة، لا 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 يا جماعة، معليش أعتذر منكم، موقع جديد وأبو خالد مرة بعيد عني، فاستودعتكم الله الذي لا تضيع ودائعه. لا إله إلا الله. يا جماعة هذه طارت هناك. لا في صوت، ورب الكعبة في صوت يا جماعة. حطوا السماعات يا جماعة، حطوا السماعات.
As soon as Hamza entered, he heard unnaturally loud, thudding footsteps echo above. With a shiver running down his spine, he crept up the staircase to find a heavy metal pipe blocking the corridor. Yet, before he could even blink, it crashed to the floor, though he was completely alone. That chilling moment convinced him he had stumbled upon something far from human. He ended his search right then and hurried back to inform the owners. They tried blessing the old house, but no one knows if the ritual ever truly banished whatever lingered in those shadows.